This book begins with the following editor's note. Of the 13 leather-bound notebooks discovered in 2007 after the death of the indigent calling himself William James Henry, these final 3 have been the most difficult to read and, if I'm being completely honest, the hardest to put into cogent form. At certain points, the manuscript is nearly indecipherable, physically as well as contextually. There are passages where I can't make out the words, and other sections where the words make no sense. There are snatches of poetry, and page upon page of expletives strung together, and notes scrawled in margins, and even some doodles laced throughout the narrative, and I use that term loosely. It took months to tease out the coherent from the incoherent here. I have removed the most shocking language, and the interminable asides on a dizzyingly array of esoterica, from recipes for the perfect raspberry scone to mind-bogglingly intricate discourses on Greek philosophy and the history of organized crime. I added punctuation where absolutely necessary. The author drops all attempts at it midway through, though in some parts I've left the errors alone, granting the author some latitude when I thought he might have a reason for breaking the rules. As the careful reader will note, there are shifts in tense layered throughout that I have left intact. Sometimes grammatical imperatives must give way to dramatic necessity. I am also the one responsible for dividing the text into sections, which I call cantos, in honor of the many references to Dante's masterpiece. Wrestling with the demands of the physical text, however, were not my greatest challenge. I will be honest. When I finished the last folio, the only word that fit my reaction was loathing. The second thing I felt was betrayal. Will Henry had betrayed me. He had been playing me for a fool. Or had he? There had been signs and warnings, hints here and there. After living with the first 10 folios for so long, how could I not have seen where Will's journey was taking him, taking me? Deep inside, I think I knew early on what lay at the end of his long descent. He had written, "I understand you may wish to turn away, and you can, if you wish. That is your blessing." After I calmed down, I went back through all 13 notebooks, and I ran across this passage from the 9th folio. She hated him and loved him, longed for him and loathed him, and cursed herself for feeling anything at all. That's it, I thought. That sums it up nicely. And now, the final descent.
Folio 11. Giudecca. From Dante's The Inferno. If he was once as beautiful as he is ugly now, and lifted up his brows against his Maker, well may all affliction come from him. Canto 1, Chapter 1. I reach for the end, though the end will not reach for me. It has already reached for him. He is gone, while I, locked in Giudecca's ice, go on and on. If I could name the nameless thing. My father burns, and living worms fall from his eyes. They spew from his sundered flesh. They pour from his open mouth. It burns, my father cries, it burns. His contagion, my inheritance. If I could face the faceless thing. From the fire's depths, I hear the discordant duet of their screams. I watch them dance in the final, fiery waltz. My mother and father, dancing in flames. If I could pull the two apart, if I could untangle the knot, find one errant strand to tug, and lay out the thing from end to end. But there is no beginning, nor ending, nor anything in between. Beginnings are endings, and all endings are the same. Time is a line, but we are circles.